Oh, there we go. Okay. I think now it should be better. Okay, cool. Yeah, just leave in the comments if you can see me. You know, guys, this is obviously a first time with YouTube, but that's the cool thing about these things is like, you know, at first it won't be great, but then it'll be good. So, okay, Aloy says yes, we can see you. Yes, we can see you. Cool. Awesome. So can you guys hear me? Just leave me a, why is my hat like that? Just leave me a 1 if you can see me. And yeah, we're gonna kick it. We are live on Instagram as well. Couldn't go live on Facebook, unfortunately. Might go live after this, but cool. So first question is, let's see. Midragli looking great, but a thumbs up, Blue. I appreciate that, man. Do you think SMMA EMA will die? No. It's it's very, very hard for something that actually adds value and creates real tangible results for businesses to die, right? It's as long as you're making clients money, right? It's really hard for it to die. And also you have to understand that marketing has always been around. Marketing will always be around. There will always be a need for people to sell more of their services or their products, right? And so if you can acquire the skill of being able to sell anything online, then that skill is going to serve you tremendously well, in the future as well. So no, I don't see it dying. Will it change? Will it change platforms? Absolutely, right? Maybe in like 30 years, it won't be e-commerce, right? Maybe like we'll be buying things on the cloud or something like that, right? But the core concepts really just stays the same. Okay. Where can I learn SMMA? You're probably you're in a good channel. Taurus is 1. My editor is here. Okay. How to get clients on the initial stage? We have no money as a beginner. Well, you don't need money to get clients. That's the great thing about EMA is the fact that you can get started with very little capital. You don't even need a website to start signing clients. Obviously, it does help because you want to have that premium look and feel. But you don't need really anything. You just need a really good offer, a way to communicate that offer, which could be through organic methods, and you're pretty much set. Just want to make sure because my it's not charging. My phone is just gonna die very, very quickly. Hopefully it's not gonna die soon. But anyways, Yo Sensei, what's up? Yolda's one of my students in the chat. Good to see you here, man. Okay, some say that it's easier to build an SMMA with LinkedIn rather than Instagram because on LinkedIn there are more people who are interested in that kind of stuff. Do you think that's true? It depends on your sub niche, and it depends if you're doing e-com or not. Is that true? It also depends on your outreach, right? The approach should be completely different. For example, for Instagram, I like to use the cold video intro. Instagram has capabilities that LinkedIn does not have, right? On LinkedIn, you cannot send a quick 15-second video, right? On LinkedIn, you can have a profile funnel, but you cannot have Instagram story highlights, right? Instagram story highlights are a massive goldmine where you can put client results or you actually, doing what you're preaching, right? So that they can see that you're not a fly-by opportunist. So, different platforms have different capabilities. So I don't like the people who say, oh, this platform doesn't work. It's all about this platform. No, I think you should have a bunch of different platforms in your arsenal. And I think you should test every single platform and make a decision based on that. So yeah, that's my take. Okay. Do you offer one-to-one time for your mentorship? If yes, how often? Yes, I do. I offer, I offer almost over 4 hours every single week. How much to charge first client and how much to pay that contractor. So when it comes to charging clients, it should always be value based. And the way I do things and the way I tell my students to do things is you should always have a performance driven incentive, or make a good chunk of the money as the performance driven incentive. So it really depends on their ad spend, their profit margin, how much they're making per month, and really the value that you can add. But the value, the price should be based around the value you can bring them. Okay. I'm seeing there's a few people who are both on YouTube and Instagram. I respect the chat, the hustle. Okay. How much money would you recommend a beginner to start in order to get the best possible start possible? Look, I always recommend to have at least something. I think you have to pay attention, right? So something that you invest into yourself. So allocate a bit of money to that. But you could literally get started with $15 a month as like fixed costs. So should we run away from prospects that ask for our price on the first email? Feel like they're cheapest leads to work with. Not always, right? Maybe they're just trying to get an idea and see whether you'd even be a good fit, right? You should not reveal the price on an email. That's for sure, right? You should not just answer with a straight up like, hey, here's my price, right? Number one, because you shouldn't have a fixed price. And number two, because that's just the worst thing to do, because they don't have any context as to where the price comes from, right? So you got to make sure that they understand that you've got to jump on a call with them to determine the price, right? And then you can make a better decision on that. Okay, all right. Instagram is gonna die, and that's gonna be very tragic. It's because I'm literally plugged into everything right now. What I could do, actually, guys, give me a second because I gotta make sure that I plug in Instagram. I'm gonna plug it there, or actually, thank you. Does it work? Was it there? Perfect. There we go. Augusta just plugged me in, so we're good. Thank her. We still have an Instagram live going. So, okay, going back to it, getting straight back into it. Okay, I got a bunch that I just lost. How to do cold calls? I don't recommend you do cold calls. To be honest, it's not very scalable, and I recommend that as long as you're doing e-commerce marketing agency, you shouldn't be doing cold calls. How to get your first client without any actual experience? I would let the process to results, okay, your systems speak for themselves, and not the fact that you've got a track record. Okay, ask yourself, okay, when you're buying a product, oftentimes, right, are you doing that? Are you typically doing that because you see a track record, or do you just like the benefits and the features of that product? Oftentimes, yes, there are products, especially info products, where you need a track record, but oftentimes, you don't look into like the testimonials or the track record of like, the shaving cream that you buy, right? It's just about, does it look good? Obviously, it can get incredible results. And so I would let the process of results speak for itself, right? You should have a very clear plan of attack for clients, and clients should be buying into that instead. They should also be buying into a team where you've got a contractor who should have experience, right? Who has handled a bunch of accounts, and so they can buy into that as well, right? Stripe doesn't support my country. They suggest PayPal. Yeah, you can do PayPal. You can also do a bunch of different options. Payoneer, to check out Square. The list goes on. Okay, so shifting to Instagram. How do you manage food? Okay. Good question by Leonardo. How do you manage food prep, grocery, house cleaning? House cleaning, and when should you outsource? So here's the thing. I think as you should get crystal clear on how much your time is worth. Okay, so when you start making a bit of money, you go ahead and you get crystal clear on how many hours you work. Okay, then you divide the hours that you work by the amount that you make. Okay, so that should yield your pay per hour. As soon as your pay per hour exceeds what you could be paying someone to do that job for you, you should outsource it. Right? Meaning, if you make more than, let's say, your cleaner charges you $10 a month, $10 an hour, right? If your cleaner, if you even make $20 an hour, that trade-off would make sense because you're buying time, right? If you make $50 an hour, that trade-off should definitely be happening, right? Same thing with food. I think you should just get a food prep company. Preparing food is one of the biggest time wasters in the world. You gotta go to the decide on what you're gonna buy, go to the groceries, then cook the food, then clean the plate. Clean all the plates, right? And it's just a massive time waste. So if you don't have to decide what you're gonna eat because maybe you get for example, my meal prep company, they have like nutritionists that basically guide me. I've done my research quite a bit on nutrition, but that's always recommended, right? So they give me what I would want and what I need, so I don't have to. Yeah, there's no decision making power in deciding, okay, what should I eat, right? And also they ship, they send it to me every single Monday, and I just gotta warm it up. So it's definitely a trade-off that I'll make. That's how I think about outsourcing things. Okay, question. So I saw a question, but I just lost it. Jacob Thompson, what's up, dude? Good to see you here. Another one of my mentees. How many goals from start to finish to close a client? Look, for e-commerce, you can expect 2-3 goals. That's what I've seen. And then obviously once you go through the whole Jake, once we go through the program, you'll see that we have a demo call, we have a strategy session. So just the nature of one of our sales funnels already requires two calls, right? Yes, they're not both sales calls, but it's still 2 touch points. So I would say around that type of combination. Okay. Man, did you improve your English so good? Aren't you native Spanish speaker? Yes, I am. I wouldn't say my English is the best, but I try. I think practice is king. So just practice. Are you in Dubai? No, I'm currently in my hub, in my agency office, which is also my home. So this is where I actually recorded. One of my clients was actually sitting here a few minutes ago, and we were recording his masterclass funnel. Pretty cool stuff. How do you decide how much ad spend you need from your client? The client should give you a really good indication as to how much that should be. However, I always tell them, like, hey, look, for the first few months, sorry, just got a call. For the first few months, we're gonna keep it as little as possible because we're testing, right? As soon as we have a winning formula, then we'll go hard. But why? Even if they give me like 50K a month, straight out the bat, like I'm gonna tell them, like, hey, first month we might split test with like 10-15K a month. What I'm mostly looking at is how much are we spending in the first 3 months, right? So if they tell me, okay, 50K a month, what I'll say is, okay, we're gonna do 150K in 3 months, right? That's the way I think about it. I may do 10K the first month. I may do 40K the next month, and then I may do 100K the third month, right? So it's not split evenly. It all comes down to, do you have a winning formula and can you scale? Once you put in $1 in and you're getting 5 back, 3, 4, 5 back, as long as you're breaking even for the client, like there's no ceiling, right? There's a massive scale. Okay. I'm seeing a good turnout on YouTube. I literally was not expecting much. I've never gone live on YouTube, but that's cool to see. How to get your first client without? I've already talked about that. my Loom videos are not viewed 100% despite making them only 5 minutes long. Well, it doesn't come down to the length of the videos. It comes down to how well are you hooking people in. You know, Joe Rogan has interviews that go for 3 hours. People stick through them. He's not like, oh, let me make this like 5 minutes. Now, I'm not saying you should make your Loom videos 5 minutes, but duration of a video has nothing to do with retention. There is obviously a correlation, right? Especially in the world that we live in, people are addicted to quick, short videos like TikTok videos. But as long as you make it valuable, don't go, yeah. I would say like anything above 15 minutes is already doing too much. And I've done 3 minutes, I've done 5 minutes, and I've even done 30 minutes for video Loom. So I've tried pretty much everything at this point. Okay. Going on Instagram, I also want to be a content creator on Subconscious Mind. Any tips? Yeah, make sure that you've got a specific, a value offering that cuts through the noise and something that you can add to the market. Can you tell us a bit more about your work? Well, my work, basically, I run an e-com agency where we help e-com brands scale to 7-8 figures. We do that very aggressively, very profitably, and we do that with a holistic 360 approach. Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm picking the best, you guys' best questions. What is the best niche in e-commerce? It really depends on it depends on you as well. But I would say anything behavioral based is really good and something that a lot of people don't really consider. Can I enroll in mentorship? The first thing you got to do is you got to jump on an application call. So there's going to be a link below the video if you're on YouTube, and you can just click there and you can apply, and we'll see if you're a good fit. I do keep it pretty tight knit, actually insanely tight knit. So that's what you got to do. Damn, Bipan, you're going hard on the mentorship. I got like 10 questions from you, but yeah, just do that. What businesses do you have planned for future to diversify and expand? Good question. I like it. So, I mean, I'm coming out with my own e-com brand later this year. Very excited for that. Yeah, very, very excited for that. And that's one of the great things about an e-com agency. And I've talked about this on my 1 million a month video, the fact a month EMA video on YouTube. The fact that when you build this asset, you can launch any brand. You have this incredible asset, right? Where you can grow anything online. So like you can literally launch brands of your own, right? You can take a product and launch it. So you can have the service-based business, right? And you can have the product-based business. And that's a pretty cool combination. I was once on a Zoom call with you. I want to roll now. Dude, just send me an email. Just send me an email. Yeah, just send me an email. It should be linked. I'll just leave it here so I don't forget. My email. Still the mentorship? Yes, I am. Okay, Instagram fam, what's up? What's good? I think this is the first time you're not eating. Yes, typically for those of you watching on YouTube, I go live on Instagram and I'm constantly eating. I didn't even have lunch today because we had this webinar recording and it was quite intense. Not gonna lie. Just also didn't feel very hungry. So I think sometimes you got to listen to your body. But yeah, I'm going live on YouTube. That's probably why. How do you manage your personal and professional life? I think that's a really good question, and I'm coming out. Probably one of my next videos will be a couples Q&A with my girlfriend, and I think that will be a topic that we'll definitely touch on, because a few days ago I asked on Instagram for you guys to send me questions, and most of the questions were around that. How do you balance that professional life and the professional life and the personal life? How do you make time for a relationship? And yeah, I'm happy, and I'm excited to dive into that. The legend himself, Jake. What's good, man? Another mentee in the chat. Minimum ad spend for a client of ours. You asked for, or is it based? Honestly, there's so many factors. Like I think, and that's why in my program, like I also get, one of the things about entrepreneurship is people want the white and black, and I think it's much better if to give you guys the tools to think in more complex ways, because it's much more nuanced than that. It's not so much the ad spend, but maybe they have like external resources that they can pour into their business. Maybe they have like external investors, or maybe they've made a lot of money in a different business model. They have all those resources to pour into the business model, into the business that they want to do right now. But they're not going to invest too much ad spend because they haven't seen a track record, right? So you can start with little, but they have the resources that as long as they see the results, they're going to go hard, right? So it benefits you to take on that client. It's much more nuanced than saying like, oh, you only want to spend 5K a month on ads. I'm not going to work with you. Much more nuanced than that. I've had clients, we started with them spending like 1,500 a month. We're spending like close to 100K a month on ads for them. So it has nothing to do with where they're currently at. How many ads a month do you create per client? A lot, right? I think when you mean ads, like how many campaigns, is probably a better idea, a better question. But ads, you're split testing a ton of things. So we may have like, with the same ad copy, right, same text, we may have like 4 different creatives, and then we'll also split test the ad copy, right? So for each ad copy, we'll have for each offer, we'll have maybe like 4 or 5 different angles, and for each angle, we'll have like 3 to 4 different creatives. So it comes out to a lot in the end. Okay. Okay, I think we've got a good question here. My father makes $7 million in sales in his clothing retail. I like coding. Should I work for what I love or help and acquire a lot of capital until I could really make something out of my own? That's a really, really intricate scenario, right? Here's the thing. If you love coding and you already know that, and money is like not something that really bothers you, then probably chase what you love. But I do have a problem with I think and maybe you have a lot of self-awareness, but I think most people think they love something until they really pursue it, right? I think when you start something because you love it, it's not the best idea, because then if it becomes your job, then you're probably not going to love it, right? I'm not saying I don't love my job. I'm saying that when you work, if you do something like an art, right? Like maybe you're an artist and you love painting, right? But now you have to paint every single day because you're selling those paintings and people want to buy you the paintings, and you feel like kind of this obligation to create stuff for people. It might not be a passion anymore. So just be aware of that. I think making emotional based decisions when it comes to career choices, I think that's not the right approach. I think you just got to try a bunch of shit. Just try a bunch of shit, see what works for you, and make a decision on that. Okay. Sure, I like the way you explain complicated things in easier way. I appreciate that, man. Okay, I'm going back to YouTube. How can we find salespersons if my English is weak? I don't think you should find a salesperson at the start. Max a VA to do lead sourcing, but no. Have you ever run ads for clients, or did you outsource straight away? I outsourced it straight away, but even to this day, I still get my hands very dirty when it comes to the strategy, right? So I love marketing, I love sales funnels, I love sales, right? And I get my hands very dirty when it comes to that. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, will you find me media buying and like launching ads on YouTube and Google? No. Will you find me strategizing for my clients and writing copy for my clients even and creating like webinar slides and all that stuff? Yes, right? So okay, I'm gonna have to charge my laptop very soon, guys. I came very unprepared for this live, not gonna lie. Literally, finished this recording like the previous what I was doing previously, like 2 minutes before the live, and I was like, shit, I gotta prep all this stuff. But there's a lot of lives coming. I'm trying to do once every week on YouTube, on top of obviously the videos, the vlogs that are coming out. So I'm excited. The shorts. Let me know what you guys are thinking of the YouTube shorts. Yeah. So people ask like, can you get clients from India and third world countries? Yes. The answer is yes. I've got a lot of students who are killing it and they're living in India, and that's not a problem. What do you discuss on strategy calls with clients? So strategy calls for me are the heavy hitting sales calls, and there's a very there's 5 sections that I go through. But I have this thing called, for example, I have just to give a bit of an idea. Obviously, for my students, I give them the exact outline, but I do have this sort of flex approach, right? So I don't just ask questions. Like one of the big mistakes. And the reason why I say all this is because I've done the mistake, right? So I'm not just like, oh, it's a mistake, and I haven't actually tried it myself. No, I've tried everything, and I've come to realize that a lot of like scripts or a lot of the way sales are done is just like you assume the buyer dynamic and you ask a bunch of vetting questions. Cool, but if all you've done on that call is just ask questions, okay, the prospect, you need to answer 2 questions in the prospect's mind. Number 1, does this person know what he's talking about? And number 2, have or would other people trust this person, right? You should answer those 2 questions before the end of the call. And so if you're just in a asking questions frame the whole call, right, which is how most agency owners what most agency owners do, then you get to the end of the call and the client hasn't really seen you act much, hasn't really seen your expertise, unless they've gone through a different sales funnel or they've watched a video audit before. They don't really know what you're capable of, right? And so that's why I use the sort of flex approach. Yes, it's a mixture of asking questions and building up authority, but you also want to make sure that you leave good shit on the table, right? Have them say like, damn, like this person really knows their stuff and they're not afraid of sharing that. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. I need to plug in my I need to plug in my laptop real quick. Okay. Give me a sec. Because I'm on 2% battery. That's no bueno. Cool. We're back. Back to business. I wear a Tagger Classic 2000. I'm wearing a Tagger. It is, it's not 2000s. It actually could be. It's not a new piece. I think Tagger has a. I sound very posh saying that Tagger, but whatever you want to call it, Tagger or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I much rather their older pieces. I wouldn't say like I'm a watch aficionado, to be honest. I like watches. I love, I like watches. I quite like watches, I would say. But there's other things that I'm more passionate about. Would you someday do a live in Spanish? Muchos éxitos. Thank you, my man, Villa. But probably not, man. I mean, maybe maybe I'll start Clubhouse, and when I do a room, I'll do like a Spanish only room. But for now, no. When are you gonna do the Q&A with your girlfriend? That is probably coming out next week. We'll record it this week, but will probably come out next week. Do you charge for mentorship? Yes, I do. How long did it take you to sign your a very first client from the moment you dedicate yourself to outreach? So I would say probably like three months, close to even 4 months, maybe. Knowing what I know now, probably would have done that in a few weeks. But yeah, it wasn't too quick. Do you recommend offering different services rather than Facebook ads to e-com to differentiate ourselves? Yeah, that's a way that you can differentiate yourself. It's not a must, right? It's just, look, for a network system offer, there's just various combinations that you can do. It's just simply that. What's the most necessary skills to start SMMA? Here's the thing, man. Like, I don't want you guys to like, because a lot of people when they start or when they make these decisions, they're like, oh, this is the version of me right now. So what is suited for the version of me right now? Here's the thing, right? Anything that you want to achieve in your life right now, any goal that you've got, is not going to be the version of you right now that's going to achieve that goal, right? And so don't really base yourself on the skills that you currently have. Base yourself, be aware of the skills that it requires to get there. But you don't have to have any skills, right? Like, you just have to have the skill. You know what skill really works? The skill of learning how to learn. The skill of being open to improving yourself. That's a really good skill to have. But apart from that, no, you don't need any other skill. Like, you can improve any facet of your life if you just put enough time, energy, and focus into it. Do you give trainings for people to be able to do social media marketing? And if yes, what's the cost and duration? Do just go ahead and DM me and I'll get back to you. Are you stressed or nervous right now? Probably not. I think there is a bit of stress. Just the whole day has been pretty stressful. So that could come across, but nervous, not really. I mean, maybe a bit of, I think maybe a bit of nervousness when I try like a different platform, because like, for example, I was scheduled to go live on my Facebook community. If you guys haven't checked that out, for those of you who are on YouTube, check out the link in the description. But I was scheduled to go live there, just didn't make it on time, and for some reason, like if you're 10 minutes late to the scheduled live on Facebook, then you have to reschedule again, right? And so I'd have to like reschedule, and I would have to wait another 10 minutes, and yeah, I didn't want to do that because it would just delay everything by a lot more. My point is, not really, and I think to go on a bit of a tangent, like I'm always looking for the next thing that's going to make me a bit nervous. Going live on YouTube is a platform that I hadn't really tried just yet. And I had to get like new software, for example, trying out a new software. So trying out a new software that allows you to go live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, it just adds complexity. Trying out a different setup. So I'm constantly like looking to like try new things and push myself. So yeah, that's my long-winded answer. Is the website important in the beginning when you start an SMMA? Not really. Is it going to help? I think so. Yes, because the way I've structured my website and kind of the way I also to my students is you can build a sales funnel within a pretty cheap website. It doesn't have to be ClickFunnels, by the way. So yeah, if you use it to sell, yes, right? If you just have it as a storefront, then it's not vital. Who do you outreach to in e-commerce brands? Good question. Do you reach out to the CEO? Not always, Basim. Sometimes I'll reach out to the marketing department, depending on the size of their company. Once you design an ad campaign for a company, are you done? Absolutely not. That's literally the first step, and oftentimes it's literally the step that is probably the least important, because once you go to market, you realize, okay, this resonates, right? So you might even spend like hours and hours on end creating a campaign, and then you go to market and you realize it doesn't really perform. It doesn't really perform as you thought. So it's all about what you do after, the iterations, the optimizing, right? The testing new campaigns. That's what makes you successful. Okay. Final 9 minutes. Besides Facebook ads, what is the best platform to use for running ads for clients? Google. All right. Thoughts on real estate? Not something that I would personally look into when starting out. With your mentorship, is it possible to scale to 10K per month in 4 months? Yes, and the reason why I say that is because I've seen students scale to 10K per month plus in less than that. So that's why it gives me confidence to say that. Do you think that people might have trust issues when you start an SME at the age of 15? If you sound like you're a 15-year-old, yes, right? But age has nothing to do with anything, right? As long as you can make people money, that's that. And here's the thing, right? I like talking walking the talk, right? So a person in my team, she's not with me anymore because she had to go back to school. But she, I hired her, and she was, I think, the first time we started talking, she was 15, right? When I hired her, she was 16. Make sense? So I'm actually walking the talk, and I'll be the first one to hire people based on their talent, based on their potential as well, and not just based on purely on age. Because this girl that I hired was way better than a lot of 30, 40, 50-year-olds, and a lot more driven, by the way. All right, guys. Do you think that people might have to have already answered that? What do you think of SMS marketing? I think I would not offer it as a standalone for now, at least. I would say offer it with email marketing, and you might have a really good combination there as a service. What price percentage pay contractors? Yeah, I talk about that in my mentorship, but I do have a bonus structure. So I have a fixed plus a bonus structure based on basically a bunch of things. Like for example, a hygiene profit margin, which is what I talk about. Okay. When you take an e-com brand for your SMMA, do you create a funnel for just one product or for other products? I'm confused. Good question. Very good question. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you realized that. Yes, you don't ever want to advertise to a bunch of different products. In fact, you should never advertise to more than 2 products. These 2 products should be your core offers. You should be driving all the traffic to these core offers. And that's that. Okay. You should build a funnel. Once you've identified that core offer, you should build a funnel around that core offer. And once you have the funnel created, once you know what the core offer is, and once you know how you're going to introduce people to the brand, then you start launching cold ads. You should never, retargeting ads are fine. You can run them and drive them to a retargeting or a collection, right? To a collection or a bunch of different products or the whole line or even the brand in general. But for cold ads, you need to make sure you run traffic to a core offer. Will you post this as a video? I want to rewatch all the responses. Yes, I will be doing that. Yes, I will be doing that. I also want to see how it performs as a replay. So yeah, probably yes. And if it doesn't really perform, then the next live I'll just leave it as a live and be kind of like a little goodie for the people that show up live. But let me know in the comments, guys, how are you finding this live? Do you appreciate this, or do you prefer like if you were to choose between like videos or lives on YouTube? I'm not saying I'm gonna pick between the two, but yeah, just give me your thoughts on how you're finding this. I think it's a cool way of engaging more with you guys and hearing you out. I feel like oftentimes I cannot get back to people on via comments. I love this. It's great. Good to hear that. Okay. Dude. Edgar. It's good to see you in here, but I lost your previous comment, man. What did you say? You said, and it's only the first half of the month. Just go ahead and retype that because I don't know what you're referring to. What do you think of a service that consists of Facebook ads, chatbots, and sales funnels? Is too much to if you're just getting started. Do you have official partnerships with the top search engines? Not sure what you mean by that, but yeah, just rephrase that. Don't you feel stressed with so much on your plate, like EMA, content creation, mentoring, investing? Yes, sometimes yes, I do. One of the things that I've been focusing on is delegating. But what happens oftentimes is, you have to really take a step back and stop things for a while, because when you add complexity to your life, you realize, you kind of look at all sides and you realize like, shit, all I'm doing is I'm just managing the complexity, and it's really hard to take a step back because you've got all this complexity, all these things going on that you got to feed. So yeah, I think the best thing is like to just disconnect for a few months, few weeks maybe, and then just build better systems, because everything breaks at scale. For hit 6K revenue for the month, dude, that's big, man. You gotta post these on the community, man. Thanks for the guidance, brother. Let me take a screenshot of that. But yeah, you got it. I'm very happy to hear that, and let me know once you get into that 6-figure niche quartz club. You know what I'm talking about. It's a really cool club. So let me know, man. But I'm really happy to hear that. Can you do a clubhouse? Yeah, look, I gotta get someone to walk me through the clubhouse ecosystem, because with all platforms, we dedicate a lot. well, I would say, yeah, with all platforms, like, my right now I've got a team of 4 dedicated to my personal brand. My video editor, my incredible Facebook head admin. Maybe he's watching this, maybe not, because I was supposed to go live on with him on Facebook. He probably hates me right now, but my incredible Facebook admin, Antonio. Then my incredible sister as well, Anna, who helps me with management. So, and what we do is we study, like we study these platforms. We see what works, what resonates, and then based on that, we determine what we should focus on and what we should not. For now, we're trying a bunch of different things. Like, for example, we're trying YouTube Shorts. We're trying going live on YouTube. Like, I'm constantly trying to like find the next thing. For example, I took a little bit of a gamble with Instagram Reels. It worked out. I grew Instagram like crazy, but with Clubhouse, I just haven't really been attracted to it. Like, sometimes I just get like a gut feeling, like this is gonna hit. With Clubhouse, I just don't know. Like, I've got my Facebook community already. I've got my own platforms that I can go live on. But hey ho, like I think I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try and see how it works. Okay, is in your referral link? Yeah. I mean, I've gotten referrals links. Like, I think I already even created an account. I'm not too sure. But yeah, if someone wants to walk me through it on a quick call, would be happy to have that call. What are your thoughts on SEO? I think it's a really cool service. I would not offer it as a front end offer. We do actually do SEO for quite a few clients of ours, but we only do that later down in our partnership with them. Social media marketing or real estate? Social media marketing, hands down, especially when you're just starting out. Do you think EMA is a stressful business model? Absolutely not, right? Now, don't look at me and say like, oh, this is how it's supposed to look. With my agency, sometimes it's because I choose to work and because I choose to get my hands dirty. But, I've had weeks where I'm not spending that much time. Like, I could literally spend like 4 hours a week and still have it run like clockwork, still get incredible results for our clients. And that's because we have a team, right, that helps us out. So, and also the fact that, one of the great things about an EMA is that we're not paid for our time, okay? We're paid for our results. So when you are using that equation, then it's just blissful, right? Because if you want to make more money, it doesn't mean you have to invest more time. And also, just because you make a lot of money, it doesn't mean you've invested a lot of time, right? It just means that you've made them a lot of money. So yeah. Should I cancel calls where decision makers are not present? Absolutely not. Oftentimes I would just read them differently, right? I would just read them differently. I wouldn't review my process or my price without the decision maker being there. But this person, has given you the option to prove your worth, and I should definitely, you just need to 100% lock in the time after that with the decision maker, and just don't reveal your cards fully. What would you tell someone who's intimidated to take the first step in SMA? Dude, honestly, just take it. Like, what's the alternative? Like, why would you not? Why would you not give it your best and do it? Like, life is too short. It sounds cliche, but when you see something that is so clear, right? And you're already thinking about it. If you're asking that question, you've already thought about it more than once. What are you waiting for? Doesn't make sense. But I get it. Some people want people to tell them like, hey, you can do it and feel good about them. I'm not saying this is your case, right? But and feel good about your decision. But at the end of the day, and I mentioned this on my last Instagram post, like it's on you. You can surround, you can invest into great mentorships. You can invest into my mentorship even, right? You can, you can get a supporting network. You can do all that stuff, right? But at the end of the day, it's on you. It's on you, right? Yes, you want to make sure you invest into the right people, but I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be at your door every single morning waking you up. I'm not going to be, getting you off TikTok. It's just not going to happen. Okay, guys. Final 2 minutes. Really love your style, man. I watch almost all your videos. I have a question. I'm stuck. Can't get meetings, and I reach via cold emails quite hard. Any suggestions? You gotta change, optimize, iterate according to feedback. Email would automate 100%, but it's not about the automation or the softwares or anything like that. It's more about the strategy. So you have to have more platforms that you're tapping into apart from cold email. That's just it's a suicide mission. Even if it was working tremendously well, you would be doing yourself a disservice. Should you pick a niche right at the beginning? Yes, and do everything for a while. No, pick a niche right at, in fact, I would say picking a niche at the start is even more important, right? Because you want to build a monopoly agency. Live sessions with your workflow. Look, I'm recording today. Actually, I'm recording a vlog. So yeah, recording a little vlog. I may have actually rather record a bit. I'm getting my brother to record for the vlog, guys. I need a bit of content behind the scenes. You didn't sleep. Your eyes. No, I slept all right. Okay. Did you attend any course of marketing, started doing them, and then earned? I've always had mentor from a very young age, and even to this point, I've had I have pretty much a mentor for every single aspect of my business and life, really. Where do you find e-com brands to reach out to that are not running ads? If they're running ads, it doesn't mean you shouldn't reach out to them. That's another thing that I see people mess up really hard. Like, in fact, if they're running ads, that's actually good, right? Because if someone is already investing into something, then it probably means that they see the value in it, right? Also, if they're going to resonate a lot more with it, right? Because if someone is already investing into something and you tell them like, hey, very clearly you're already investing into this, which means you see the value, but very clearly you could be doing this so to make more money, right? Then that's going to be much more powerful to them, right? Because like they're already investing money into it and they're wasting money by not doing what you're telling them to do. So wish you a happy day. Appreciate that. Thank you for the info, Madeline. You got it. Is it worth to start a social media management agency? I'm not the biggest fan, simply because it's not revenue driven, right? So posting pics on social media is not revenue driven, right? So you're not making the money, which means it's hard to convey the value. Also, anyone can do it, right? So it's not like vital. It's not vital, right? Anyone can do it. They could outsource it to someone for like $4 an hour, right? So that's the false thing. And the second thing is that since it's not revenue driven, you cannot charge a percentage of anything that you make them because you're not making the money, right? Or at least you could be making the money, but it's not tangible. It's not very clearly defined. So then it doesn't lend itself well to charging percentages of revenue and all that stuff, which at the end of the day, it can provide passive income. So yeah. Okay, guys, that is pretty much it for today. Then we covered a lot of topics. I gotta eat. Man's gotta eat. Hello from New York. What's good? Niels, what's up? All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yep, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you for coming on this live and for kicking it with me. We'll be doing a live every single week, most likely. But yeah, I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.